Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watch team is here with another tropical weather update. Today we're going to be tracking Hurricane Barbara, Tropical Storm Cosme, and Invest 92W in the West Pacific. Starting off with a summary of all three systems, we got Hurricane Barbara, about 155 miles southwest of Manzanillo, Mexico. Maximum sustained winds are 75 miles an hour, and it's currently moving to the northwest at 10 miles an hour. The minimum central pressure of 991 millibars. Next, we're going to talk about Tropical Storm Cosme, which is at 620 miles south-southwest of the southern tip of Baja California Peninsula. Maximum sustained winds at 65 miles an hour, and currently moving to the west-northwest at 6 miles an hour. An air pressure of 994 millibars. And here is the latest on Invest 92W. At 20 knots, 1001 millibars. There's a little bit of convection, quite a bit of convection actually, but it's not organized. So I do, once again, want to talk about all these systems and the outlooks. So, again, the three systems across the Pacific, Hurricane Barbara. It continues to move along the coast of Mexico, with those winds that's being 75 miles an hour, with some slight additional strengthening as possible today before weakening beginning Tuesday. Swells generated by Barbara will continue to affect portions of the southwestern coast of Mexico, causing life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. No coastal watches or warnings are in effect. For Tropical Storm Cosme, it has strengthened and is forecast to become a hurricane later today. A turn towards the north is expected tonight, with rapid weakening expected by midweek. No coastal watches or warnings are in effect at this time. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Invest 92W. As it continues to move beyond the Philippines, as it is currently east of the Philippines, it continues to produce those disorganized thunderstorms, showers, and thunderstorms. However, we are seeing those conditions being favorable for gradual development, and a tropical depression or a tropical storm could form later this week as it approaches the South China Sea. Now, regardless of development, heavy rainfall and gusty winds are possible across portions of the Philippines later this week. There are no watches or warnings for any of these systems at the moment. Now, looking at the hazards, the hazards are going to be surf, rain, and wind. Swells from Hurricane Barbara will impact southwestern Mexico for the next few days. These swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. For rain and wind for Invest 92W, heavy rainfall and gusty winds are possible in parts of the Philippines later this week. I do want to talk a little bit about the models for Invest 92W. For the storms across the East Pacific, they are remaining off the coast. They're going to dissipate, fall apart, and be gone by the end of this week. So, taking a look here in East Asia, here's that system there. As it continues to move deeper and farther north into the South China Sea, we do expect this system to intensify quite a bit into the 970s, and we're going to do a closer view of this for 92W. 6Z. There it is, 974, 971, perhaps the 960s are possible as well. There it is at its strongest. Again, we do start to see an eye wall or a bit of a core begin to develop as this does approach South China. Looking at those winds, again, winds aren't the biggest issue, but we are seeing a 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm. We could perhaps see this reach hurricane intensity as well as it quickly intensifies. There it is, 65 knots. It does look like it weakens a little bit there as it makes its way inland across southern China. And then it does return, will actually move off the coast of China and perhaps impact portions of western Japan and portions of southwestern, south central, and southeastern South Korea. But we are watching that. We could also have quite some pretty big waves with this, so we could be dealing with some storm surge as well. which is something we need to closely watch and monitor. Taking a look at the West Pacific, want to take a look at any possible more systems that we could see in the West Pacific. Because once again, there really isn't a hurricane typhoon season. It happens, is really almost always favorable. So we do have that system. It moves inland, makes landfall, moves back over. Impact looks like the remnants of it move over South Korea, and Japan could also be impacted by it as well. Even 276 hours, nothing's showing up. But we're going to closely watch this as it makes its way closer to China. Again, with these two systems right here, there isn't a whole lot to talk about as they are going to be moving away from Mexico and falling apart. However, we take a look at the 7-day, we do have potentially another system south of southern Mexico, as there is an area of low pressure which is forecast to develop later this week south of southern Mexico. Those environmental conditions appear conducive for some gradual development of the system, and a tropical depression could form late this week or during the weekend. Remaining chance of the next 48 hours is 0%. For the next 5 days remains a medium 60%. Again, nothing happening in the North Atlantic. We are seeing the Saharan air layer is active. Pretty big plume of dust here. Big plume of dust. I guess using pink isn't the best color, right? Good old black will pop up nicely. A big old plume of dust here. Again, this is the Saharan air layer. This is dry. It's basically dust. It's dry. It's gonna move westward. It's in the mid-level, so it's gonna move onto the Caribbean. This is why we're not seeing any storms there in the main development region. Right in this area. Right there is the main development region where a lot of long shot storms happen, which we might see a few of those this year. And then as you can see with pretty much all the other systems we're watching, Investine 2W is the only one that is expected to have direct impacts to land. So there are the systems there. All right, remember to like this video and subscribe to the Hurricane Watching channel for more in-depth tropical weather updates throughout the season. Stay safe, stay prepared. My name is Zaria, and we will see you in the next update. Peace out, folks.